What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Kosko with On3 Sports, another college wrestling preview. This time it's out in the ACC on Friday night. It'll be North Carolina going out to NC State. The in-state rivalry is back. Of course, NC State, though, the favorite here on paper, ranked 8th in the country according to the latest coaches poll. North Carolina is unranked, but they are 8-6 overall. Just 0-1 in the ACC. NC State, meanwhile, is 11-2. 1-0 in conference duels. So there's a lot of ranked matchups in this one. Just off the surface right now, I have it in favor of NC State, as I'm sure a lot of people do. But give you a little breakdown of these matchups, which should be a pretty good duel when it's all said and done. Of course, these rivalry matchups are always good. So rankings that I will use here are obviously via Intermat, and then, of course, WrestleStat. I'll use their projections as a little bit of a reference as well when it comes to, where these bonus points are coming from or whatever the case may be. And obviously credit to WrestleStat as well for making sure the database is updated, of course. And you look at the history between some of these individual matchups as well. So 125, it is a ranked matchup. Jacob Camacho for NC State and Spencer Moore for North Carolina, 22 versus 29. That's a very interesting one, more of a toss-up bout if this duel does start at 125. The way I look at it is, if North Carolina is going to pull off, I would say this would be considered a borderline massive upset. And again, I know it's an in-state rivalry, anything can happen. Guys might not weigh in, of course. Some guys might be sitting out. There could be more injuries, but these are just based on the projected lineups as we see fit right now, which are from WrestleStat right now. And of course, we are going by the Intermat rankings as well. So when you look at that on paper, NC State's got 10 ranked guys in the lineup, a couple guys that are in the top 3 as well. So they are the favorites, as I mentioned, but 125 in this ranked matchup with Camacho and Moore. If Moore gets off to a hot start in this one, he can very well knock off Camacho here. And all of a sudden, we're looking at a lead for North Carolina after 125. If that's the case, then all of a sudden the Tar Heels might say, hey, there's a chance here this evening. Maybe we can start pulling off a couple more upsets along the way and really make this duel interesting. So you look at 133, it's Oren and Palmer. Oren is number 6 in the country for NC State at 133. Again, this is where the bonus points are going to come into play. I don't know if North Carolina is going to be able to avoid bonus points all night. Kai Oren is obviously very, very good. He's an All-American candidate this year for a reason. I would highly expect bonus points here at 133. So we're looking at, let's just say Moore does win for North Carolina at 125. We're looking at maybe a 4-3 lead here for NC State after the first 2 bouts in the 141. This is basically the main event of the evening if you're looking at it from a fight card perspective. And if you could order the matchups in whatever way you wanted to, Ryan Jack of NC State and Lachlan McNeil of North Carolina would be the main event. Obviously, this is number 4 versus number 5 at this weight class. I know I talked to ACC Network's Rock Harrison earlier this year with On3 Sports, and he mentioned McNeil is one of his favorite guys to watch this year so far for North Carolina. And we talk about North Carolina having a national champion in Austin O'Connor, who won the title twice and was an All-American in the year in between his 2 titles as well. So North Carolina can get these guys. Maybe the team success is not quite there like NC State right now, but from an individual perspective, North Carolina does have a lot of juice, especially if a guy can go all in and maybe you have a national title contender in Lachlan McNeil. But again, he has to get by Ryan Jack. Those two are familiar with each other. I believe, yes, and I do have it correct here. Jack is 3-1, by the way, against McNeil. That is a very big discrepancy. And again, I know it favors NC State right there, but if North Carolina, again, is to win this duel, they'll need this one. So by my count, you're looking at maybe a 4-3 lead for NC State going into this bout right here. And then, if Jack gets the win, NC State's up 7-3. If McNeil wins, they're up 6-4. And now all of a sudden, now you're swinging the duel in the other direction. 149. Number 3, Jackson Arrington is projected to go there for the Wolfpack. Will Guida for North Carolina. Again, another mismatch on paper just based on the rankings. Bonus point territory as well. So let's just say for argument's sake, we give North Carolina, in the best case scenario, the McNeil match as well. So they're up 6-4. Let's say now they're trailing 8-6 after 149, just by some rough math right here. 157, Ed Scott's another big fair for NC State over Sonny Santiago, the projected starter. So you're looking at, it's now 8-6 NC State. Maybe now it's 11-6, maybe even 12-6 as you go to intermission. We'll say there's one regular decision amongst those wins for NC State. So let's go with 11-6 right now. NC State out in front after 5 matches. Derek Fields and Isaiah Estrada, those two are going at it at 165. Fields is 14th in the country for NC State. Estrada unranked for the Tar Heels. Probably favors NC State here. Again, you have to, if you're North Carolina, you are going to have to pull off some upsets. And again, that's the theme of this match on Friday night. Full lineup against full lineup. North Carolina is going to need the upsets in order to come out on top in this duel. So Fields, we'll give the nod to him right now, 14-6 NC State. And now you get to the toss-up bouts, more ranked matchups here. Alex Faison of NC State, Tyler Ishins of North Carolina as well, 27 versus 29 respectively. Now, again, goes either way. North Carolina has to win the toss-up bouts, maybe pick off some guys as well if they're going to win the duel. Best case scenario, they get a win right here. It's 14-9 by my rough math right here with 3 bouts to go. NC State is only up by 5, and that's when you get into 184. Dylan Fishbach and Gavin Kane, 10th and 23rd respectively for the Wolfpack and the Tar Heels. Now, Fishbach is definitely going to be the favorite right here. I'm going to lean him. This is a match that North Carolina would have to win to stay in the duel so they could close the gap to, let's just say, 14-12. But just based on what I'm looking at here, based on their match history for both guys, common opponents, just the way both these guys have wrestled this year, I'll opt for Fishbach right here and a 17-9 lead for NC State. And then 97, Trent Hidley has been wrestling some of the best. He's been doing some of the best wrestling, I should say, in the country right now, regardless of weight. He's number 3 at 197 right now. He's certainly a title contender. Again, everyone's chasing Aaron Brooks right now from Penn State, but I could easily see Hidley making a run at the national finals once again to try to take down Aaron Brooks. Those two did face each other back in 2021. That was at 184 between Brooks and Hidley. And again, I could easily see it again right here in 2024 when we get out to Kansas City in a couple of months. But he gets a ranked guy, Max Shaw, number 26 in the country. Now I have it 17-9 right now. NC State with 2 bouts to go. Hidley is more than capable of pouring on the points and getting a major decision at minimum right here. I'll give Max Shaw a little bit more credit right here, maybe holding him to a decision. Maybe it's about a 6-7 point match, one of those types of things. So 20-9 NC State is how I see it. Going into heavyweight, Owen Treffin and Cade Lout are the 2 guys remaining for NC State and North Carolina, respectively. Treffin is 15th in the country, according to Intermat. I'd probably opt for a decision for him as well. So 23-9, that's the way I have it right now. Scored off the top of my head for NC State, winning by 14, winning matchups at 133, 49, 57, 65, 84, 97, and heavyweight right there. So North Carolina, I mean, there is a blueprint there to pull off this win. They're just going to have to pull off the upsets. And as I wrote for On3.com as well, if they have a 4-4 split going into the final 2 bouts, they're going to be in it. But then again, you're going to have to pull off some upsets with Shaw over Hidley and obviously Loud over Treffin. But again, it comes down to bonus points. And again, I see the best case scenario right now for North Carolina being in that 4-4 split at the best, and that's probably at the worst for NC State if you have both full lineups out there. But otherwise, this is probably another duel where NC State's going to extend their all-time series lead. They're up 16-9-1. They had one draw in their series history, but they'll get their 17th win, in my mind, over the Tar Heels on Friday night. But it should be a good night of wrestling. Of course, it's the ACC. We highlight more than the Big Ten, the Big 12, and everything else. And, of course, the ACC has some high-quality teams, high-quality wrestlers. We do it all here at On3 Sports. Make sure to check out the preview on On3.com. You can check it out on the NC State and North Carolina team channels. Wrestling preview between the Wolfpack and the Tar Heels. I'm Nick Kosko, as always, for On3 Sports.